or Coach B, as you refer to me as. And I'm here to talk about my personal coaching experience. You'll find from time to time in the group that I'll have very transparent moments where I talk about my experiences. I talk about my things that I learn, things that I go through as a coach, just to kind of give you guys ultimate encouragement. Because for me, I'm the kind of person that I learn a lot of things by people's experience. So I gain wisdom either by hearing what people go through or go through things on my own. So I like to share those moments, even sometimes when I don't want to. I know that is ultimately healing for me in some areas of my life, but it's also good to kind of share with people because you never know who you inspire to kind of become who they need to be in life. And one of my biggest models when I first started doing my business was I always encourage people to share their story with others because you are ultimately a living testimony for someone else's dreams and their passion. So here I am. So I'm actually going to talk to you guys. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. So, if you have to break it down in segments, you can. If you watch the whole thing through, go ahead. I encourage you to do so. I have a very interesting coaching story because something that I felt like I was led to do, more so something that I kind of, that was something that I kind of woke up wanting to do. So for me, my coaching experience is very, like I said, very different from what I've heard some people's experiences are. So here it is. So I started out as a social worker. And I've been doing social work since I was 18. So when I first got my, probably a little bit later than that, but I went to school, private institution, to get my social work degree. And I first started out as a biology major because I wanted to be a doctor. I was like, well, I just want to go out. I want to help people. I want to do stuff with my hands. I want to be a surgeon, a pediatric surgeon at that. And this is what I want to do. Throughout that process of going to school, it was very discouraging for me to say what I wanted to do, but then look at the grades. And it's like, okay, I want to be a doctor, but my grades are not cutting it. So in that process, I had to really think about, what I want to do with my life because I was going to school for one thing, but it wasn't really profiting me anything at that moment. And for me, I still felt like it was something that I have in my soul and in my passion. But I kind of allowed people throughout that process to kind of deter me from what my heart was. So during that, I was on a pursuit to kind of not really look for another career, but kind of understand what I was doing in college. So I was sitting in a course with my teacher, who at the time was was going to be my advisor, and I was in a child abuse class, and she was talking about her child abuse experience as being a children's service worker and all the things she went through and all her stories and all the crazy things she went through and the rewarding things she went through. And I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna have social work as my minor. So I ended up doing that. I had social work as my minor, and I took a couple courses, and I was in love with the minor. So much that as I started to see my grades in social work, I was like, let me just switch my major over to social because my grades in biology weren't doing so well. So I did that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a social worker. And I thought that making the switch was going to be easier for me because I was like, wow, this is pretty easy. I can kind of get through the social work experience, It's just, read a couple of courses, read a couple of papers. Totally wrong. Because for me, I had to face the fact of writing papers. And the crazy part is writing in English is my strong suit. Like when I was in high school, I did 3 years of English because last year I did advanced English. So I got a 98 on my English Regions. I'm from New York, so we have the Regents exam. So I got a 98, and I was just like I was writing poems. I was getting awards in English. So no one couldn't tell me that writing and journalism wasn't my thing. I would write short stories. I write songs. I did all kinds of things when it came to writing. Throughout that process, I came across a professor that he majored in English, and then his secondary was social work. So he was one of the professors that who's has a social work title but didn't really practice in the field. I know we've all had those people in our classes, someone that kind of wanted social work but didn't really practice it. So throughout that process, I would get my papers back, and he would grade them, and he would red tape them through the roof. So much that I had to take his course twice. He failed me twice. And then to the point that I had to leave school in my senior year altogether and start back over to get my social work degree. So that was a very discouraging process for me. But at the end, I made it out with getting my degree in social work. And it was crazy because the same teacher that failed me was the same person who told me that I wasn't fit to be a social worker. Um, he said I would never, I don't think you're fit for this career. Maybe you should take your time, take some time off. And to hear that not only I wasn't going to be a biology major, but not to be a social worker was very disheartening for me. And I had to go through the fact of, okay, well, what am I going to do with my life if that's the case? Ultimately, I, by the grace of God, I got enough courage to finish my degree. So I went back to school, took all my courses in, because social work, you can't just transfer to a different school and get all the credits that you need. You have to kind of take the program over and graduate. So I took the majority of my courses over again for the second time. Took all those courses, and then at the end, when it came to get my license, I was terrified because those fears of you're not going to be a good social worker came back into my head, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to fail this exam. I don't know what's going to happen, but by the grace of God, I went into that exam. I intimidated, scared, nervous, but passed my licensure exam on the first try. And I was so proud of myself. At that moment, I was like, man, like there's no limitations to what I can do. I have this licensure. I could do whatever I want to do. And it shook me up to the point that I was like, listen, I'm not trying to spend no more money for school. But when I go to school this time, I'm gonna do it right. Because if I'm gonna go out there and advance my degree and get a high level of education, I'm gonna do this wise. This the first time. And ultimately in that, I felt proud of myself because even while I was preparing to finish my degree in social work and preparing to get my licensure, I was still practicing social work and that. So I had a great job that I was able to kind of work with families of trauma, work with children and youth, interns. So I had great experience. So I was able to still be a social worker even while I was working on getting the credentials that I need and the degree that I need to become a social worker. So fast forward to now, um, I work now in a mental health field as a triage worker, and I am proud to say that I've earned that degree. So much for that. I take that degree like to it to heart when people like listen, like you can't, I can't what, okay. But in that process, as I'm working with clients and as I'm talking with them and helping people heal from their trauma and everything like that, I felt that I just needed more. Like I needed to be able to impact people's lives in a way that that it felt good. I didn't just want to focus on what they went through and kind of find the root of their problems and find the root of what was causing them certain behaviors, certain triggers, certain traumas. I just didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to get them past their traumas, get them past those generational systems and those the structures of poverty, and I kind of want to push them to their future, and I just wanted to do so much more. So while I was doing case management, which I loved and I did for 5 years, I kind of came across the notion of life coaching. This was back in 2016. And at the time it wasn't really at the courses that I was taking, I was going at then wasn't really nothing much. I mean, it was a couple dollars here and there. So I went into I think it was called like explorating, which I do not recommend. I went into that system and just kind of learned about their coaching process. And the videos were so cut and dry, and it wasn't really much. I mean, I heard about the ICF, but looking at ICF prices, I was like, I don't know about that. So I just started learning about life coaching, like the different things such as the power wheel, the limit challenge, limit to beliefs, what it looks like, how it's different from counseling. And at the time, I knew I didn't want to go into private practice, just because I'm the kind of person that when I work with clients, when I work with people, like I take it to heart. Like I take on a lot of their I go home with my work, and I knew that doing one-on-one therapy that I was going to be subjected to that kind of mindset. That's that way of life for me, that I will go home, I will go do counseling sessions, talk with my clients, but then come home like, oh my God, I wonder what they're doing, oh my God. And for me, I love practicing self-care, but for me, it takes me a while to realize that, okay, Bianca, you're in a cycle of autopilot mode. So I knew for me that private practice wasn't going to be the first thing I went into. It was going to be something that I eventually graduated into. But I loved helping people get past their roadblocks in life, and helping them get, they think the bigger picture and helping them accomplish their dreams and goals. And at a young age, my mom has sowed a seed of entrepreneurship into my life, as far as teaching us how to be entrepreneurs, teaching us how to be business people, having a business mindset, and having a business mentality. So for me, I knew I wanted to do something regarding business and have people kind of become their own business owners. Um, so with all that, the coaching was really intriguing for me to get into it, but I didn't really know how to do that. So I kind of put it to the side, and I was okay, what else can I do in the meantime? So at my job, I was giving, I got grace and favor with my boss, so I was able to kind of like do groups. And that was what it was for me. I love doing groups because I was able to teach life skills, which for me was like, why not teach people how to personally develop into the person that they're designed to be? Like, what's your purpose? What's your passion? And I'll kind of help them in that way discover, based on what their trauma was, like, where does those underlying fears of becoming the better you come from? So in group practice, I was able to kind of help my clients become more future focused, especially work with victims of domestic violence. A lot of them are stuck in the trauma or the cycle of domestic violence, and how do you get out of that? And one of the things I identified with my clients is that they had a lot of it was tied to financial abuse, where they didn't have a lot of their own money to get out of the abuse. They kind of depended on their abuser to kind of help feed them, give them money for their nails or their hair, or give them money to feed their children, where they didn't really have that financial independence within their own system. And for them, it was okay, I'm using him, her to get what I want, but really they're using you. So after I kind of helped my clients realize that they were in a toxic cycle and toxic relationships, I then actually were able to kind of help them get past that or identify where that came from. And then once we settled in that, kind of got over that trauma, got over that cycle that they were in, and detoxified their thoughts, I then as sometimes did an assessment, and if they were suitable or kind of ready for ongoing process, we would then look into coaching for financial independence. And that for me, I loved to kind of walk clients through the process, because so much to the point that after my clients would leave, I actually asked my supervisor, like, hey, can I do like an aftercare with them to kind of see, how they're able to sustain housing being in and out of their abusive relationship. So for me, coaching was like something natural that I did after I was able to kind of get over the traumas and assess them for, a higher level of care. Perfect process. So in that, I kind of got the rush back in 2018. I really didn't jump up to 2019, where I turned, well, back just a little bit, on my 28th birthday. I'm 30 now, going to be 31 soon. On my 28th birthday, I got the notion to kind of build a business. And my business is called Roy at 28. And in that, I didn't really know what the business was going to be about. I just know I just wanted to help challenge the systems of generational poverty. So in that, I built the business in the process, and as I was defining what the business was and defining what it looked like, I knew one of the things I wanted to do within my business was coaching. So I was like, okay, how do I coach people, or how do I assist people? Like, how do I do that? So I started looking into it, getting some research, looking into programs, looking into the process of it. So as I'm sitting there, just kind of waiting on things, just asking God, like, I don't know what to do. Like, how do I do this? So I came across new skills, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, let's see what this is about. And in doing that, I was in taking the course nice because I was really intrigued about what they were teaching, because a lot of the things that I was learning, apart from being new skills, like a lot of the videos I was watching, a lot of the ICF courses I was looking at, things like that, it was kind of aligning itself to what I was learning in the New Skills Academy. So I was like, great, this is a great program. So I did that. I started taking those courses. I got into the motor thing. I started printing out, like, imagining what my coaching business would look like everything like that. And I was just so intrigued. So I started building out my coaching program and building a website and just kind of getting into everything. I was working Roy at 28 and kind of shaping that into what it was going to be. So I was doing all that process, but I still came to a roadblock and, didn't know what I was going to do with my coaching business, what I was gonna do with my business as a whole, and I was all over the place, like literally, guys, all over the place, and still working a full time job. Then I was like, okay, I need money now. What's going on? So I came across a young woman who I was just kind of looking at her videos, and I don't know how she ended up on my timeline. I really don't. With the Facebook algorithms, she ended up on it somehow. And she was talking about how she teaches coaches to build their programs in the simplest form possible. And I was like, dope, like, let me see what you're about. So I went on her pages and I followed her on social media and I just kind of like stalked her life. No lie, I did. Stalked her life and I was okay, cool, like, let me see what she's about. And she offered these free discovery calls. So I booked a call with her. I was like, cool. So we're on the phone, Zoom. We're on Zoom, we're talking, and she was like, okay, well, what do you want? And you not well, she didn't say it like that, but she was like, okay, well, what do you want? Like, what interested in coaching? And I'm the kind of person when I come to you, I come with everything. Like I said, hey, here's what I want to do. I want to work with these population. This is what my packages will look like. This is what, this is what how much I want to price things for. Like I had pretty much everything built out. And she was like, well, I typically work with clients who don't know anything about how to start their business, but you sound like you know what you're doing. So what do you need help with? And I was like, no lie, I just need the accountability. Like I know what I want to do, but I need the accountability to get there. And she was like, okay, well, if you're ready to work with me, like let's do this. So this was back in April. And I asked her, I was like, okay, cool, like, I'm ready. She got to send me your prices and everything like that. So she sent me all her stuff. And at the time, I looked at the price. She was charging $250, and I was like, oh, it's a lot of money. No lie. And I battled the thought of, like, is paying $250 worth it? Like, what am I gonna do? Like this is what I want, but like, where am I gonna get the money from? And I just remember went back to the coaching session that I was talking with her about. She's challenging them to believe, and I was telling her, I just want to start this program in the summertime. Like I just want to start in the summer. I want to quit my job. I just want to go and get things done. Like I just want to wake up one day and just work my own coaching business. And she was like, well, do you feel like you need to quit your job to start your business? And I was like, to run a business, yeah. Like where am I gonna get the time from? Like how am I gonna have enough time to run this business and work full time and do all these things and da 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 da. She was like, so you're saying that you have never been able to multitask? And I'm like, well, no, not really. I can do da 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 da. And she was like, okay, well, so what's stopping you? And I think that question for me kind of made me reevaluate whether or not I was serious about having my own business. And to the point that it's so much challenging that I was like, you know what has been stopping me? Is it me that's stopping me? Like, am I the person that's stopping me from accomplishing my dreams and my goals? How dare I? So I thought about that. So all April I was thinking about it. In May I thought about it, and then it came to put that in May I got into a car accident, and I was like, oh my god, like, bills come with the wazoo. Like everything was kind of getting crazy around my life, and I felt like the weight of life was just like dawning down on me. And I was like, Bianca, like, why not just start it now? Like, why are you waiting? So I just, I committed to myself that, as soon as I got paid, like I was going to go ahead and spend this money for coaching. I was going to go ahead and do it. Like you've gone this far, you've had this interest for a while, you identify that you're the person that's stopping you from starting your business. Just go out there and do it. So I hit her up on emails like, hey, like I'm ready. Let's just do this. So I went there, we had our first session and she sent me all her stuff and I was so excited, but still nervous because I was like, oh my God, like, what if I don't, like, start my business? Like, what if I'm spending all this money for nothing? Like $250, that's a lot of money to be throwing away. I felt at the time. So I'm working with her and she's kind of breaking things down for me and asking what I have, and I'm like, okay, this is what I do, da 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 da. And as we're working together, I'm slowly but surely building the confidence to become a coach. I'm starting to call myself a coach. I'm starting to change my mindset. I'm trying to read her packages that she's giving me, and I'm like, okay, Bianca, like, you're doing this. Like, so we're talking, and I'm kind of getting motivated, and I'm doing my homework. Not all the time, cause no lie, like I would get coaching homework, and I would do it like an hour or two before our sessions because I don't know. I just want it. So I sat there and, I would let her know, like, hey, this is what I want. And as I was working through it, I found out that I was able to build my program in 2 months. I have been wanting to coach since 2016. and I had been sitting it dormant for the past 3 years, and I could build it in 2 months. And I was like, yo, like, how was this possible? And she was like, you were determined. You had accountability with the coach. You worked the program. You had the skill set. You had the knowledge. You just needed guidance and help. So I was like, wow, like this is dope. So I went there and I built the program and I launched my first workbook in June. And I was so excited. And I was like, oh my God, my first book was called The 5 Steps to Live in an Entrepreneurial Lifestyle for Creative Millennials. And at the time I was working with just creative millennials, helping them challenge their fears and anxieties, becoming entrepreneurs, sorry. So I was helping them get over the fear and anxiety of becoming an entrepreneur. Like, okay, you're a millennial, you're bomb, you're dope, you can be an entrepreneur, get it going, do. So I had that. And the next part was getting clients now and marketing, and how do I do that consistently? And my biggest thing was marketing. I was like, I market to my friends and families on social media. So I was marketing on my Instagram pages, on my Facebook pages, and I was making YouTube videos, and I was doing so much more. I was consistently marketing. Like, I mean, every day there was posts from Bianca, Coach B, like this is what I do kind of thing. And I was persistent in that. And I mean, I don't think I ever took a day off while I was marketing, because I would pre-schedule my posts. I would make live videos. I would make encouraging videos. Like, I was constantly in front of the camera so much that my Facebook algorithms was going through the roof, like straight through the roof. So I sat there and I was like, okay, cool, Bianca, we can do this. So in that process, as I'm just marketing, I wasn't really focusing so much on getting, like, thousands of dollars, something like that. I was just more like, let me just get a discovery call. Like, let me just get that. And it so happened that within that time frame, as I'm constantly promoting, I got it within a couple of weeks, my first 2 discovery calls. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. So I got on Discovery Call, and I was so nervous meeting with them and talking with them. And they were both people that I knew, but it was so scary, like meeting with them over Discovery Call. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got through that, and one of the clients, she just ended up just wanting Discovery Call. So I was cool. I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it is what it is. And I kind of, in my mindset, kind of played in my mind, like, well, if she's not going to be a client, then it's okay. I kind of like set myself up for that. Like, I manifestingly did that in my own mind to kind of prepare myself, like, for the rejection. Like, okay, if she just comes for the call and not to be my client, like, how am I gonna feel? But I had to go with a different energy when I was talking with clients now. So second person ended up know her as well, and I was just kind of telling her what I was doing and answering her questions and whatever I can, just kind of just off the whim. But she ended up booking with me just because of her knowing my character, and her knowing, the knowledge and wisdom that I had as far as being a business owner. She saw me host events. She saw me do different fundraisers. She saw me do different things at church. So she was kind of seeing me already in the business mindset. So my character was portraying that, this is what I do as a regular. Like, here's how I can help, because I've been through enough things, and she's heard so much good things about me. I was like, cool. So we started working together, and I started helping her break down her plans and just kind of like developing, shaping that process. And while I'm working with her, I'm still marketing with other clients, and end up getting 2 other clients that I didn't know nothing about at all. I mean, nothing. And I was like, okay, cool, like whatever. But in that process, I found out that through teaching about coaching and business coaching, I actually enjoy talking to social workers more, because a lot of my social work friends will ask me, like, hey, I see you're coaching, like, what is that? Like, can you teach me? And then I was like, sure, cool. Like, well, let me offer a program, like a mentorship program, where I'm able to kind of help people become coaches. Cool. So I did that for a while, and I noticed that the response was overwhelming. Like, I was getting like constant, like, how do you become a coach? Like, I want to become a coach. And I was like, oh my God, like, wait a minute, slow down, chill out. So much so that I actually had to make the program a paid program, because I was getting so much response regarding becoming a life coach. And the crazy part is that one of my coaching clients actually encouraged me to kind of like, hey, like, I think you need to like make this a thing, because this is bomb. And I actually took her advice, and I actually the reason why I started this coaching group was because of her advice. So, and it's so dope, because you never know who's put into your life to kind of help you and kind of encourage you throughout your business. Because throughout that process, I was shaping my business into what it was going to become. And kind of fine tuning some things. So I actually went out and purchased a building for my coach business because I felt like I was like, I'm gonna expand as an entrepreneur. I need an actual physical building to sit there and coach in. So I went and purchased the building. And that was its own journey in itself. And if you guys want to hear about how I got my building for my coaching business, I actually could link that in the group, so I could really show you guys the emotional roller coaster that process was, to actually getting a commercial real estate property for my business. Also within that time frame, I got engaged. So I was, managing having a fiance now, and I was like, oh my gosh, so 2019 for me kind of blew up to the point that I had to really sit back. I'm like, okay, Bianca, like what, like now you have to plan different things. Now you going into 2020, here's what you have to do now as an entrepreneur. And I'm grateful that that encouragement came from one of my clients, because I was able to launch this group and actually get over, like, I think now 50 members in like 10 days. And I was like, how in the world did that happen? So with that, I realized that I sat down and I said, man, Bianca, like this coaching thing has really jumped off for you. You've gotten clients, you got discovery calls, you've gotten your programs. Like, how long have you been coaching? I've realized I've only been doing this for about 6 months. And I was like, man, like, you really have to share your story with how this happened, because there's people out there that don't really know how to become a coach. There's people out there that don't really know what success to become a coach. There's people out there that are coaches that don't know how to, get the results they need, and they need that encouragement and that boost. And for me, I could say it's all just a mindset. It's a mindset about what you believe yourself, what you believe yourself to do, or your capabilities and your abilities and your skills and your talents. And for me, had I not believed in myself, had I not hired a coach, had I not stepped out on faith and actually started marketing myself and becoming uncomfortable with the fact of just being mediocre, I don't think I would ever gotten the success that I did in my business. I don't think I would ever become the coach that I am today. I don't think I would ever redefine my niche from working with creative millennials to working with social workers, which was now my pride and my joy, to help social workers become coaches and consultants and speakers, things that I did naturally. So much that I'm actually able to do this inside of a building, do this within my community. And I think for that, sharing stories like this to motivate people is what my passion is as well. To be able to talk with them about my experience and say, hey, you don't have to have all your eyes at it and your T's crossed in order to start your business. You don't. You have to learn, you have to develop, you have to make mistakes, you have to cry, you have to laugh and go through the journey of becoming an entrepreneur, because you're not just running a business. You're not just running a coach business, you're running an empire, enterprise. So ask yourself, do you just want to make money, or do you want to build a business? Because if you want to make money, you can make money do other things. Building a business is not quick money. It's not, because there's been times that I've had slow days that I have no clients, where I have clients that I have calls that turn into clients. It just happens like that. But what do you want to do? And your social workers, we are resilient. We are trained to work with people. We are trained to help people get over their past experiences, get over and cope with their traumas, their fears. But for us, we tend to neglect ourselves as social workers, the things that make us happy. So for me, coaching was a way to fulfill my passions and my dreams, but not just my passions, but my God-given calling. Like, I wasn't just made just to go to school, acquire debt, and sit in a nonprofit and go through their rules and their regulations about how to talk and associate with clients. Like, I was built for more than that. Like, the reason I'm a social worker is because I possess skills and assets that are detrimental to the well-being of people, that people need these kind of skills and assets that I teach. People need to develop in the ways that I teach them how to develop. So I just wanted to share my story with you guys. I know this is a long 30-minute video. I didn't want to be this long at all, but I had to kind of get it all out there for you guys that have worries, that have doubts about starting your business, that are waiting to start your business, that are waiting to become coaches, that are saying, I need to have all this ready. Get the basics, get the basic structure, and just move forward. Hire a coach. If you are going to be a life coach, a business coach, hire yourself a coach. It is very important. I would not have built my program in 2 months had I not had my own business coach. It wouldn't have happened. I'm not serious. Like, I was planning to launch this thing now, my coaching business now, but I did it months before. months before, and I've already worked with, I've had like, oh, I want to say 8 discovery calls and like 1, 2, 3, 4 clients. So it works, guys. It really, I probably remember like 3, but it works, guys. It really, 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 really does work. If you work with someone who keeps you accountable. So that's my life coaching story. I hope this inspires you guys. And if you guys want to hear more about it, feel free to contact me through email or hit me up on a group, and I'll be glad to share any more questions that you guys have. So um, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, guys. And I hope you guys have a blessed evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time frame it is for you right now. So this is Coach B, guys, and I'm over now. Bye, guys.